to show you how to make this practice document accessible following the guidelines presented by Lauren. I'm using a MacBook, so my Microsoft Word menu here may look slightly different from your PC version. I find the web version of Word with limited features available too. I recorded a voiceover reading this document and will share the audio file on the website together with this demo video. You can hear how voiceover reads the information in this document, not in the way you expect it to read with your eyes. This practice document was downloaded from the Illinois Department of Innovation and Technology. The website also provides step-by-step accessibility guideline of this document, so you can visit the site and download more detailed instructions if you want. To begin with, I'd like to check the whole document structure first. This document seems to be a newsletter on office supply with 3 sections: locations, features, product, and sales update. I'm seeing 2 images here. The first one is about office supply samples. Second one is a bar graph which represent the data in the following table. I'm seeing 2 bullet list items here. During the presentation, running the accessibility checker was the last step to create your Word document. When you have the document ready, you can run the checker first to find out what kind of accessibility issues you may have in the document. In Mac, to run the accessibility checker, go to Tools and select Check Accessibility. On the right side of the document, you can find the accessibility report. This document has issues with color and contrast, 3 items, missing art text for probably those 2 images, and the table, the use of merged or split cells. For the table, try to avoid any merged or split cells for better navigation experience for screen reader users. If you click the first issue, this is about the color contrast, and these 3 items are all like headings number 2, and the color of the current heading number 2 is not strong enough. The contrast is not strong enough, so this accessibility checker is giving me 3 better options. So I can choose any of these colors instead of this light blue, so that these fonts can be read better against the white background. You just need to choose one of these colors and then it will resolve the color contrast issue here. For now, I'm not gonna fix this here because all of these 3 items are also headings. I'm gonna cover that heading structure issue later, so I'm gonna skip this one now, move on to the next part. Missing art text. We saw 2 images earlier in this document. When we have images used in the document, we need to decide whether any images used in this document, are they informative? Are they adding any values to understanding of the content for the viewers? First one here, which is about office supply sample image. Since this is office supply newsletter, I think we can have this image. This is not really purely decorative, so we can add art text here. Simple, very simple one. So office supply samples, like post-it. Something like that, and if you click save, it'll resolve the issue. Second one, which is the bar graph. This bar graph actually is representing exactly the same information as presented in the following data table. So I don't think we really need to explain the details of this bar graph in our text. Instead, we can provide again simple explanation about this. This is a bar graph to represent the data in the following table. I think this should be sufficient information for screen reader users to know, oh, there's a graph there, but it is the same data in the table. So it will resolve the alt text issues with these two images. If you find those images used in your document are not really adding any values, not very informative, like purely decorative, you just need to select decorative so that the screen readers can skip those images marked as decorative when they are reading the document. Going back to the report, the table. And in this report, it says there's no issue with table header. But then, I don't think sales update in the first row in this table is a table header. To me, this sounds more like a table title. So I'm gonna remove this sales update from the table and then add it outside of the table so that this can be read as a table title, and I will remove the first row here. Then how can we make this first row as table header row? In Microsoft Word, the only way to make the first row as table header row is go to the table layout and then find and click repeat header rows here. This is the only way to make the first row of your table recognized as header row in the table in Word. If you want to make this table visually more accessible, you can go to table design and choose different pattern here, design for even for the sighted users or people with with low visions. So something like this. If I wanna make the header more distinctive, so I choose like this option there. So table issue has been resolved. In the document structure here, this checker didn't find any issues with headings. No headings in the document because there was no heading used. This is not like true in terms of the accessibility of this document. We see the title earlier, newsletter, and then we see 3 heading, number 2, used in this document, but they are not recognized as heading. That means these headings were not created as headings using the built-in headers. So for this, go to home and try to use styles and newsletter as heading 1, kind of title of this document, and then these 3 heading 2, I select these as heading 2. You may notice that the color of this heading 2 has changed as darker blue. So this actually resolved the color contrast issue earlier. Another thing the checker didn't find earlier is the bullet list item. In the section of location, we see these 2 bullet list items here, right? But these are not bullet lists. If they were bullet lists, when I move my cursor around this area, it should be indicated here in this area as a bullet list. It was created using the symbol, like black circle and then letter O, and then use the tapping to create this structure. This is not recommended. So remove these symbols and use bullet list item here. So all of these 4, use this, and then these 2 indented under Chicago. So this is how you make the bullet list there. If your bullet item, list item needs the number sequence, then instead of like bullet item, use this numbered list. And the last item to check in this document is this area. This part, I think it should be read as post-its or sorted colors, $3.59 and up, markers, dry erase, $6.49, staplers, red swing line, $21.99. So that should be the reading order. But when the screen reader is reading this, it is reading from left to the right, top to bottom. So it is gonna read post-its, markers, staplers, assorted colors, dry erase, red swing line. That's not the reading order the author probably intended. Then how we can fix this? The same information, like here, let me try just 2 sets of item here. So the first set of information here, and second set of information here. I'm just gonna do the 2 sets of information. Use columns layout. You can have the structure of the information you intended. So go to layout and find columns. And since I have 2 sets of information, I will use 2 column structure here. Then I have here 2 columns of information, and the screen reader now will read this information from post-its, assorted colors, $3, markers, dry erase, $6 in that order, intended order. So this example and the initial example here, they look the same to our eyes, but the inside, the reading order, how the item is structured is different. I have shown how you can run the Microsoft Word's accessibility checker and then do some manual review to make your document accessible. As shown here, even if your accessibility checker tell you everything is okay, that doesn't mean your document is accessible. It still require you to do a manual review of the item to make the document, accessible. If you have any questions or need any further help with your own course materials, the document for your class, you can reach out to us at Center for Learning Innovation via email to schedule any meeting with us. On our digital accessibility website, you can find more resources on Microsoft Word and helpful templates as well, checklist included. Thank you for watching this.
The Center for Learning Innovation, CLI, is continuously developing resources and guidance to help you make all of your course materials accessible, including PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, Excel files, and even videos. To learn more about digital accessibility and access additional resources, please visit the Digital Accessibility page on the CLI website. Thank you for taking the time to make your course content more accessible and inclusive for all learners.